the British and how they shifted their capital from Kolkata to Delhi. Delhi has seen a lot. It has seen a continuity of many, many centuries. And yet, Delhi's heart remains open to everyone who chooses this place. And there are a lot of there's a lot of diversity of population that we see here in Delhi. DDA got added to this history of Delhi in 1957. And from then on, DDA took on many roles. It was the master planner of the city, it was the regulator, it was also an ecological guardian. And that is a role that has turned into a much stronger identity in the past few years. And DDA Green Expo is a symbol of stepping into that identity with more strength and more power and more commitment. So we have seen that happening yesterday on this very stage. The DDA Green Expo is carrying the theme of Beyond Growth, Reimagining Urban Futures. Through this theme, DDA seeks to advance a model of intentional and responsible urban growth, one that aligns statutory planning with national environmental frameworks, climate commitments, and the lived realities of Delhi's citizens. This is day 2, and I welcome you to the DDA Green Expo. Let's put our hands together for this initiative. And for the context setting for day 2, I would like to invite on stage our additional commissioner, Landscape DDA. Please welcome Dr. Kalpana S. Khurana, ma'am.
Can everybody see me? Okay. Sorry. Distinguished delegates, colleagues, guests, a very good morning to all of you. On behalf of the Delhi Development Authority, I welcome you all to the day 2 of DDA's Green Expo. Thank you for your engagement in yesterday's session, and we appreciate that you have returned today to continue what has already been a thoughtful and substantial dialogue on Delhi's urban and ecological future. The proceedings of day 1 were focused on an attempt to understand the challenges we faced in planning a city, like climate change, ecological stress, public health pressures, and the role that nature-based and other thoughtful design solutions play in planning to respond to these identified challenges. However, just because the success of any vision depends on how efficiently it is executed on the ground, in today's session, we have deliberately planned to shift the conversation towards policy, finance, and implementation. Delhi's context makes this discussion particularly important. As a rapidly growing metropolitan region, the city must simultaneously address issues like housing demands, commercial needs, infrastructure requirements, heritage conservation, amongst many other such challenges. And so, in such a complex urban context, an ecological intent, though understood and acknowledged by all, often comes on low in the priority list. Thus, implementation requires that this intent is clearly and compulsorily converted to crisp policies, viable financial models, institutional coordination, and most importantly, measurable benefits of the outcomes. This is where today's sessions are especially relevant. Across cities, climate responsive and green infrastructure projects often face challenges related to funding structures, risk allocation, interagency coordination, and long term maintenance. Instruments such as CSR partnership, PPP frameworks, green bonds, and carbon markets are increasingly being discussed, but their application to city scale still requires careful design, regular clarity, and accountability mechanisms. Keeping in mind, keeping that in mind, we have planned today's panel to examine aspects like how can development and conservation be reconciled through statutory planning and governments. How can financial mechanism be supported by sustainable urban infrastructure? How can cities move the policy intent to consistent and on ground outcomes? And such questions. Implementation is not the technical or financial question alone. It is also about institutional capacity, interdepartmental coordination, and sustained engagement with communities who are ultimately the users of the urban spaces. Delhi's experience increasingly demonstrates that projects succeed only when governance system and citizen partnership move in tandem. The discussion today are curated at bringing together policymakers, financial experts, practitioners, and institutional, all of whom have been deep into implementation experiences in their own fields. The objective is not to arrive at idealized solution, but to identify practical pathways, transferable lessons, and realistic frameworks that Delhi and other Indian cities can adopt. We move through the As we move through the day, I encourage all the participants to engage actively, challenge assumptions, and focus on what it will take to deliver durable outcomes that strengthen ecological systems, improve public well-being, and support Delhi's, or for that matter any other, urban long-term resilience. I look forward to the deliberations ahead and to the insight that will emerge from the today's session. Thank you, and I wish that there is a productive day 2 of the DDA Green Expo 2026. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We saw reflections yesterday through panels, we saw masterclass, we saw the logo launch, the yearbook launch, the MOU signings, and of course the address by Honorable Lieutenant Governor Sir himself. And now we are all set to start the reflections of day 2, and we'll be talking about